Welcome back to Blue Book. Today we're going to make a super simple crispy Korean fried chicken. Let's get started. So we're going to start by breaking down our chicken. So using a knife I'm just going to slice along the thigh. And then I'm going to press it open. I'm going to crack it so I actually take that femur out of the chicken. And then I'm going to slice around it. That's going to separate the leg from the rest of the body. Now after I clean that up, I'm just going to go back to the other leg. And remember, once you dislocate that leg, you should be able to get your knife through nice and easy. And then I'm going to just feel that joint just down from the femur, and your knife should just go straight through. But if you have difficulty, dislocate it again, find where that joint is and put your knife through. Now exact same thing with the wing here. All you have to do is just dislocate it slightly. You can feel that joint pop and then just put your knife through. And remember, you should get basically no resistance from your knife through this process. Now we're going to just move on to our wings, and we're going to separate the wing from the drumette. Now, there's multiple ways of doing this, but I like to separate down that tendon. I like to just pop it out, and then there's no way you can actually hit any bone there. Now using some heavy duty scissors, I'm just going to snip down the spine, just going through those ribs. Now I sometimes leave the vertebrae on here. I'm just going to remove it though, just to make some stock later. Now onto the chicken breast. I'm just going to run my knife parallel to the sternum and use my scissors to get through any bone or tough cartilage. And then I'm just going to separate that into two pieces. And then on the other side with my sternum, I'm just going to take my scissors and just snip through that. If you have a cleaver, just go nuts with that. Now keep in mind, leaving the bone on as much as possible is going to add a little flavour, and it's going to make the chicken more moist. Now we're going to make a simple 3.5% brine. So what that means is if you have 700 grams of chicken, you have 24.5 grams of salt. And then just make sure that's all fully dissolved, and then pour that over our chicken, making sure it is fully submerged. And then I'm going to leave that for at least 2 hours. Now in a large bowl, I'm going to add 300 grams of cornstarch or potato starch, 200 grams of plain flour, 10 grams of baking powder, and 15 grams of salt. Give that a whisk, make sure it's well combined. And this is what makes the recipe so simple. Take this mixture, put roughly half of it into a container, and the other half we're going to combine with roughly 500 grams of water. And what we're looking for is a thin pancake sort of consistency. Now this is really up to you here. If this mixture is a little thicker, you're going to get a really thick crust. If it's thinner, you're going to get a crispier crust. Okay, and now all we have to do is put our chicken into our mixture, making sure it is well coated. Put that into our flour mixture, dust it over the top, and then really press this into the chicken, making sure there is 0 blank spots. Give it a little dust off and then put on a wire wrap. Now the way I like to do this is just to save a little bit of time, and also it allows you to do it in bulk. You should just simply put it in a box, put the lid on, shake it around, and that gives a good consistent coating. Now this method is going to coat your chicken really well. Now using some high smoke point oil, I'm going to heat it to 175 degrees Celsius, lower in my chicken, and I'm just going to hold it near the top just for a second, and that's going to stop it sticking to the bottom of the pot before lowering in the rest of my chicken. Now I'm going to cook my thighs for around 8 minutes and my breast for around 6 minutes, and then leave that to drain before taking my oil up to 190 degrees, and then fry it off for another minute. And then we're going to get this beautiful golden skin. Now when I put that onto my wire rack, you actually see it darken in colour a little bit and get even more golden. And then I'm going to move to my spicy gochujang sauce. So I'm going to start with 75 grams of honey, 50 grams of gochujang, 90 grams of tomato sauce, and 30 grams of soy sauce. Before giving that a stir over some low heat, and then I'm just going to take my grater and grate 2 to 3 cloves of garlic, half a knob of ginger, and stir that over a low heat for 5 minutes. And then we have a soy garlic sauce, and that's going to start with 75 grams of honey, 60 grams of soy sauce, 30 grams of rice wine vinegar, 15 grams of sesame seed oil, 80 grams of hoisin sauce. Give that a mix, and then start to grate over 4 to 5 cloves of garlic, and a half a knob of ginger. Now let this steep for another 5 minutes over a low heat. Now you can add corn flour to these sauces if you want it a little thicker. I'm happy with it being thin. Now get a really large bowl, toss over your sauce, and then give it a mix around, making sure it is really well coated. Then I'm just going to plate this up, making sure we sprinkle that with toasted sesame seeds. And that's it. Korean fried chicken, done. Now giving this a try, the chicken is so juicy. It's well seasoned because all that brine has penetrated into the meat. It's really moist still. It's super crispy, and we get a whole bunch of different flavors with both those sauces. Now this is such an easy recipe, I hope you give it a shot. But until next time, have a darn good week.